Hey there, supporters of good posture. Can women find a real way to actually be nutritionally and physically healthy? Are men able to learn anything from women who can? And can it help them succeed in their fitness goals? Is it possible to achieve ideal weight, fitness, and wellness without having to spend 7 days in the gym? And the biggest question is, what can you personally learn from a woman who once was a patient of and worked for Doctors of Chiropractic, a nutritional coach who beat cervical cancer, beat the odds against having children and got pregnant anyway, became a competitive bodybuilder, and now competes, but also finds the time to help people reach their personal potential and goals? That's who I have in the studio with me today. And she's going to break down the answers to these questions in great detail. You're about to learn more about your personal potential than you ever imagined possible. So sit back, turn up the volume, and pay attention, because you're not going to want to miss a second of what she has to say. And no matter what sports, fitness, wellness, or everyday life game you play, we're going to bring you all the answers you could ever want right after this. Stick around.
Game on, sports, fitness, and health fans, with another episode of the Sporting Good Posture Digital Radio Experience. Gear up for Coach Frank's advice from the sidelines as he helps you crush your game, no matter what sports, health, or fitness game you play.
Hey, this is Coach Frank. I'm sporting good posture. What are you sporting?
Hey, Coach, what do you got for us today?
Welcome back to another episode of Sporting Good Posture. This is Coach Frank. And today's guest is very special to me. I've been impressed with her journey over the last number of years that I've been in contact with her. I'm really impressed with what she's done with her life and how she helps people in helping them get healthy as well. It really reminds me of what I try to do in my practice. She's come a long way in her own health and learned through experience on how to heal her body, and also now helping other people to heal theirs, to help people get pregnant for the first time, get over depression, get over eating disorders, really just get their body back in the right place so that they're able to live the healthy lifestyle that they want to live. I know that you'll be getting a lot of good information out of her. It'll hit home on what she's done and what you're trying to do with your life to help you get healthier. And we're going to get to all that and more right after this short message.
Hey, Jeremy. Wow, really pumping that iron. Getting buff for summer?
Hey, Haley. Wow, you look amazing. I guess the gym's working out pretty well for you. Wish it was for me. Trying to lose some weight, but no matter what I do, I can't seem to take it off.
Oh, I've been there. I've tried tons of diets and routines and just couldn't take the weight off no matter what I did. It was really depressing.
Well, you obviously did something right. What's your secret?
Actually, my chiropractor.
Your chiropractor? Really?
I was so surprised, but it totally worked. He was doing something called the ChiroThin program.
The ChiroThin program?
The ChiroThin program is designed like no other. Supervised by licensed doctors of chiropractic, ChiroThin is based on your body's natural structure. Following Mother Nature's blueprint, ChiroThin gets to the bottom of all the reasons people have difficulty losing weight and puts you on the road to your ideal body. And that means the ideal you.
Hey, Jeremy, you're looking pretty buff. Did you check out the ChiroThin program?
You bet, Haley. Thanks for turning me on to it. For my girlfriend and mom, too. We all had a breakthrough. Can't believe we finally lost the weight.
Well, looks like my loss was your gain.
If losing weight is a challenge, get evaluated today for free to see if you are fit for the ChiroThin program at Ideal Health and Wellness Center. Don't just get thin, get ChiroThin. Call 615-567-6683.
My guest today is Erin Crawford. Erin is an integrative and functional nutrition and fitness coach with a focus on hormones and gut health for overall well-being. When she isn't with clients, she's an avid equestrian, bodybuilder, dog mom, and aspiring interior designer. Erin intimately understands the struggles of chronic and invisible illness and overcoming self-limiting beliefs. Erin is passionate about helping others learn to properly nourish their bodies and lives and build strength and confidence through everyday decisions. She's overcome recurrent cervical cancer through holistic therapies and lifestyle changes, and has currently helped almost 50 couples become families despite diagnosis of not being able to have kids. She's helped countless women over the years get their bodies back in shape. And also she has several certifications from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. She has a primal health coach certification. She's certified as a medical assistant and prenatal and pediatric chiropractic assistant, and also certified as a birth doula. She's recently gotten involved in bodybuilding and placed second place in the figure battle at the River in 2019 and second place in the figure Tennessee state championships. I wanted to have her on as a guest today because I know that you're going to get a lot out of this episode. So please welcome to Sporting Good Posture, Erin Crawford. Welcome to the show, Erin.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it was good catching up with you a little bit there. We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, I've missed seeing you.
I know. You've been doing some amazing things, and I've seen what you've been posting online, and I just was like, man, this would be a perfect opportunity to have you on as a guest.
Yeah, anytime that I can reach more people and help in any way, I want to. So
you were basically a miracle yourself, and we were just talking about it, how you've just overcome a lot of things with your health and everything, and recently just had gotten pregnant. And I just wanted to ask you about that, kind of that experience of what you've been through to kind of come to this point.
Oh, there's a lot in there because this has been truly we're at about 14-year journey.
Yeah.
Now, I had given up a long time ago, just to be completely honest, on the thought or the hope of getting pregnant. But I had cervical cancer that returned several times. And I never did go through chemo or radiation. But I'd had several surgeries and essentially had my cervix removed. Cervix is important for getting pregnant and staying pregnant, most importantly, because that's essentially what holds baby in. Luckily, there are medical advances to help with that kind of thing right now. But with all of that said, I was told for a long time that, having a family was not something that was going to happen for me. From there, I ended up going a more holistic route with my treatment. Essentially, I went with alternative therapies of all sorts. If it was something that I could do, I did it. I was in college and got good $90,000 in debt with all these alternative therapies and whatnot, and worked my butt off to pay off all of that. But it was that led me to working as a chiropractic assistant, specifically in offices that specialized in prenatal and pediatric chiropractic. And so from there, I was also getting a lot of different nutrition certifications in various schools and certification programs when it comes to holistic nutrition. And I started working with a lot of the parents that were coming in, or hopeful parents that were coming into the chiropractic offices I worked at, on nutrition. And before I knew it, I had a base really of my own clients that I was helping nutritionally and alternative methods of essentially just kind of cleaning up their diets and whatnot. And a year and a half into all the alternative treatments with that last diagnosis of cervical cancer with me, I got a cancer-free diagnosis. Okay. And I have remained cancer-free since then. So over 12 years. Wow. But it was during this time, of course, cervical cancer, that's very dependent upon hormones and whatnot. So I was learning a lot personally, and then also more of on a professional manner about that realm of holistic health, nutrition, hormone optimization, all of that. So I started having great success with my own health. In that process, I lost 110 pounds.
Wow.
Because I was always very heavy. And that had contributed, of course, and my bad diet that contributed being heavy had also contributed to the cancer, of course. So it was just cleaning up my entire lifestyle that really helped. And then all of this really ended up helping me help other people, to put it in a nutshell. So over the years, I've worked in various holistic health fields, nutraceuticals, even in health food stores, helping just anything that needed with help in that kind of setting. And all along, I've been accepting clients on the side. So it was more of like a side thing of coaching others for holistic health and all of that. And then in 2020, because 2020 was crazy, yeah. I up and decided that it was time to make my passion, my main focus. And I stopped working for others and started working for only myself. At the time, I was also a personal trainer. I am on the side also. I do physique sports, bodybuilding. I'm a competitive figure competitor. And I have just been able to meet so many people through all of those different aspects that I have been able to really start working, one-on-one with so many people in the past 2 years. And that's now what I do mainly. And all of that to say, I have, of course, kept up that holistic lifestyle the entire time myself. As of 2 days before Christmas, this past Christmas, I found out that I am pregnant. And I am now almost 22 weeks pregnant and very, very, very excited. Yes.
I've followed you now on Instagram and everything. And I've learned in the holistic part of it, where a lot of it I've picked up from researching, questioning things, learning more about those kind of things, and really just saying, why are so many people sick? Why are so many people infertile? Why are so many people depressed? Why is there so much cancer and heart attacks and all these things? And it goes back to the food, the water we drink, the things we put in our body are so important. And it's amazing how you've come all this way from where, you weren't even sure if you'd ever be able to get pregnant or have a family. You're pregnant now, and then you're helping people do these things as you've gone through your own journey. And I just think it's amazing that you've done that. And I just commend you because you're always ahead of things. I always watch, your Instagram stories and the things that you post. And I learn a lot from watching you and listening to you and people like you that are so ingrained in this, that really care so much about it and want to help people be healthy and live the life that they should have and live a long and healthy life.
Well, I want that for them because I've been there. I've been there. I've known truly, personally, that it feels like there is no hope. It feels like, okay, maybe I should just do what my doctor says to do and take this medication or have this surgery and that kind of thing. And then that leads to another medication and another surgery. And then it feels like, okay, am I ever going to get out of this misery? There's just not enough people saying, hey, that's not the only option.
Right.
And you can thrive, you can survive based on working with nature how we were intended to.
It just impresses me because it's working. So I'm glad that you've really gotten the word out about that. And you have people that you're helping with that. And you're just at the forefront of the research. And I see the books you're reading. I mean, you post all the time. And I admire that because I don't always have the time to read into those things. I'm glad that people like you post that because now I'm learning too. And I'm able to help my patients learn about these holistic treatments and other options and better ways to eat, better supplements and things like that. And during that journey, I also was amazed how you got into, physique competitions and everything. So tell me kind of how that happened, because that was a few years ago, right? When you started doing that?
It was, yes.
And what a transformation, by the way. I followed, what you've done and you posted pictures and everything. And I mean, that is amazing. And I know how hard that is. And I know how dedicated you have to be to do that. So talk about a little bit of how you got into that and kind of where it went to.
Well, it was really funny at that time with the place I was working. We had this delivery day of all this stuff coming in. And so it was just a few hours of picking up all these heavy boxes and moving stuff around all day. And at that time I would have told you, oh yeah, I'm healthy. But I was nutritionally healthy. I wasn't physically healthy. And at that time, I hadn't quite realized the difference yet until this day. At the end of all of that going on that day, my boss jokingly was like, all right, now let's all drop and do 20. And all the guys drop and start doing push-ups. So I'm like, I've got this. And I dropped down and I did one. I did one push-up and I was done. And then I literally couldn't lift my arms to do my hair or blow dry my hair or shower for the next 2 days because I was just that killed me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was healthy. And at that time I was 112 pounds. I was a little bitty thing. And in my head, so many women do, I equated my lack of body fat to being healthy. And I got smacked in the face really with reality that, lack of body fat doesn't mean I am physically healthy. I'm not fit. I did one push up and now I can't move for 2 days. So I hired a coach and I joined a gym. And I was 30 years old at that time and I had never stepped a foot in a gym. And truly whatever my coach said to do, workout wise, he wrote me workouts. And now he also wrote me a diet, but me being me and knowing what I know about nutrition, I confronted him on a lot of things on that. Hey, I'm not going to do this, but I am going to do this. And in the process of that, in 6 months, I put on 10 pounds of muscle. And all of a sudden I'm like, I've got like shoulders and definition, and I'm getting some little biceps, and man, look, I even have like a little vein, like I just started to love it. All confidence issues I'd ever had, not feeling confident in myself, or self-esteem issues of, am I good enough? And all of that literally went out the door. They were gone. I was just like, yeah, I'm buff and I can do this. But not every woman, as I now know as a personal trainer myself, not every woman wants to get to that point. They just want to be able to, work out and be a little bit more capable and run around with the kids and that kind of thing. I, thinking I couldn't have kids, was like, you know what? I see these physique. I was in the gym, about 5 days a week. I'm surrounded by all these people who do like these physique competitions or bikini competitions and all that. And I was like, I bet I could do that. So I actually went to a competition, sat in the audience for the whole thing. And by the end of it, I was like, I can do this. And so me and my coach came up with a plan for me to compete. And I competed the first time and I was just hooked. It is not easy. Like, it is dedication from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. when you pass out, 7 days a week for the entire thing. It is getting uncomfortable physically, mentally, emotionally. There were so many times that I'm like, I don't know why I am on the Stairmaster at 4 a.m. before I have to go to work all day. And then I have to go back and lift tonight. Yeah. And I need to meal prep for 5 meals per day for the next 7 days and be ready to go. Like, I have a meal prep day where literally I make 35 meals and I'm ready for the rest of the week. And yeah, that's a lot of grilled chicken and rice and broccoli and asparagus and nothing really exciting. But I was able to combine what I knew nutritionally with what I was now doing physically with my body. I'm not in any way trying to brag here, but I did advance quicker than most people do in the sport because of my nutritional background.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, in the sport, it is done unhealthily a lot. Like, people will use exogenous hormones, steroids and whatnot to achieve certain looks. And I wasn't going to go down that route after 10 years of trying to get my hormones healthy from cervical cancer. And I know for a fact that exogenous hormones often do cause things like cancer. So I was not willing to go down that route. So for me to get up on stage and compete against the other 5 women on that stage, knowing that they're on stuff, it was like even more motivation for me to just absolutely kill it. And essentially it became like just my motivation to say, no, I want to show that I've already shown that you can get healthy, and beat cancer. Now I want to show that you can be peak fitness level and do it naturally, because the human body is absolutely incredible. One thing I haven't mentioned in all of this is also during that time that I was going through all that with cancer, my dad was involved in a horrible accident and ended up traumatic brain injury and quadriplegic, and I helped take care of him. So all of my time that I spent in the spinal cord rehab units and all of that, I got to see the ugly, ugly limits of what the human body can endure, know? And I wanted to now explore the possibilities of the human body at the opposite end of the spectrum. And I knew that it could be done. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got into all of that.
It's very difficult to do that. You really, truly give up your social life. Your job is to eat, train, and sleep. And that's it. And
that is it.
Yeah. And you got to function somehow.
That's not the fitness level that the average Joe and average Jane want, right? Now that I work with what I call lifestyle clients in the gym, which are literally people coming to me and, like someone might be 50 or 150 pounds overweight, and they just want to be able to run around with their kid and not get hurt climbing the bleachers to watch their kid play football, because that's difficult. Honestly, at the end of the day, those are the more admirable goals, because those are like sustainable goals to keep reaching for on a daily basis. Whereas these competitions and all, they might be fun during also miserable, but they also might be fun. But then you compete and you win or you don't, you get off the stage and now what kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas a lot of these people just want to live better, I think one thing that holds a lot of people back, and I know this was true for me, one of the many reasons I had never stepped a foot in the gym up until that moment was I thought, if I step into the gym, that's going to require me to be there 7 days a week and 14 hours a week and all of this. And that's not true. To go from a fairly sedentary job to just, say, 45-minute workouts a week can be life-changing, can utterly change your body. And you've just spent, a total of 2-3 hours in the gym for the whole week, spread out over, so it's really not nearly as intimidating as so many people think it is. A lot of people think if you go in the gym, you're going to be stared at. Everybody is in there with the same goal of getting better. Yeah. And everybody is focused on themselves. Nobody's watching you. So that's another thing. And then also there is the thought process, I think, for a lot of women that if they start exercising, they are going to become these big, bulky bodybuilders. And that is also not true. Like, in order to achieve that, I was eating almost 3,000 calories a day, that I was meal prepping 7 days in advance. I have a timer set on my phone for every 2 hours, stop whatever I'm doing and eat my meal. And then I have to have this specific amount of cardio at this specific time of day and this specific lifting regimen at this specific time of the day, and maybe even go back for more cardio. Yeah. Like, it's way more to become that peak level is way more involved than just, 3, 4, 45-minute workouts a week. Yeah. But you can still change your body and what your body is capable of in that short amount of time.
A lot of my patients are women, and, we do a lot of things to help them get back into the gym. A lot of it just chiropractically helping them heal some of their injuries so they're able to actually do these workouts, because, a lot of people, like, the new year will come along and they'll have these New Year's goals, and they haven't addressed the underlying issues that they have, that knee problem or that back problem or that shoulder problem. They try to go work out now, and then they injure themselves, and now they're back to square one. So yes, I know you've worked in the chiropractic office. What kind of got you into that originally, like working in the chiropractic office? Were you going to the chiropractor and then started working there?
I started going to the chiropractor when I was 2. Oh, wow. And I started going I had really, really, really bad allergies as a kid, which now, as the integrative nutrition coach that I am, I know that allergies are 100% associated with gut health. And I also had a horrible diet my entire life, but I had horrible allergies, and chiropractic was one of the only things that ended up getting me off 3-time-a-week allergy shots as a kid. Oh, man. And so I have been going to the chiropractor my whole life. That was like the one healthy thing that I ever did. And then when I was 17 and a senior in high school, I was in a horseback riding accident and broke 3 thoracic vertebrae. Oh, wow. So, of course, all the doctors are like, oh, you're going to have surgery and you're never going to be able to ride again. You can never lift anything heavier than a gallon of milk, and like all of these things. Even me at 17 years old, I'm like, I'm just going to go to my chiropractor. And my chiropractor saved me. And I never had a surgery. I never did the pain pills. None of that. Oh, and I was immediately back to horseback riding, by the way. I never gave that up. I was like, that's my thing. I'm not giving that up. Yeah. But when the cancer stuff came around, chiropractic played a big role in that for me as well, because it definitely keeps your body primed for immune health, for your immune system to be able to work optimally. And then also just kept me moving through a lot of the alternative therapies I did. I went through a lot of what they call detox poisoning and sickness and illness to go along with how much my body was detoxing from the literal 20 years of bad stuff I'd been putting in it. Yeah. And now here I was completely changing my entire lifestyle. And chiropractic just got me through it. So when I went through just a big lifestyle change, I went to school for criminal justice. I obviously have never used that. But chiropractic was something that I knew and was familiar with, and I knew it worked, and that was just kind of my first foray into the body can heal. The body can take care of itself if you allow it to. And that's just where I turned. Now, I will say also at 20 years old, I went And, this was years ago. I know that pay is better now, but I went from like this really high paying job at 20 to where I felt like I was stealing health from people. That's a whole other story. To then I was like, I can't be a part of this anymore. And I went to an interview at a chiropractic office and got hired on. And it was like $10 an hour. And I didn't even care that at that time I was making less, because here I was suddenly being able to work with all these people who were improving their lives and improving their health by the day, because they were enabling their body to do the natural healing.
Yeah.
And it was just eye-opening to me of like, oh my gosh, this is what I want. This is how I want to help people.
I love hearing things like that. I love that you went as a kid, and a lot of people don't realize that kids can go to the chiropractor, and that kids really need to go to the chiropractor.
I was such a klutz. I can't imagine my childhood without it. Like, I was always getting hurt and that kind of thing. And it was my chiropractor who helped every time,
Yeah. And a lot of people don't think of that, but kids, they're always, when they're learning to walk, they're falling all the time. They're climbing on things, they're falling out of trees, they're falling downstairs, they're sledding, they're getting in accidents and stuff and then they're sitting, then they're at school and there's just, and they're playing sports. There's just a lifetime of these small little misalignments that happen. And then, they may not feel it then, but when they get older, a lot of people say, oh, I remember, when I was in middle school or high school and I was playing this sport and I got hurt and it still hurts years later. Well, that's the thing, is like those things can be addressed early on, and it's easier to fix it as a kid than as an adult. And
absolutely. And chiropractic has continued to be a big part of my story. I still go weekly. I mean, especially with the kind of heavy lifting that I do.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a couple of injuries in the past couple of years, shoulder, knee, that kind of thing, from bad form, and that's where I preach form to my clients, because you will progress fast if you are focusing on the correct form first and foremost. But even with what I now do, chiropractic still plays a weekly role in my physical health and success. Yeah.
I figured that during your training and everything that you probably had still gone, because you're putting so much stresses on at that point. You're becoming at that point an elite athlete, and you really need to be in top shape and have good alignment so that you don't hurt yourself working out.
And of all things with physique sports, because you get on stage and you pose, and that's essentially like flexing every single muscle in your body for anywhere from 1 to 15 minutes without stopping.
Oh.
Like the posing part of physique sports is actually one of the hardest parts of it. So I do like daily posing practice of about 30 minutes. Now, when I'm getting closer to a show, posing practice goes to about an hour a day. But like, posing alone can cause so many issues, and my posing will suffer. I have befores and afters of posing, taking a picture, then seeing my chiropractor, and then posing. And my posing is like night and day difference from before and after an adjustment.
That's
and
awesome.
Considering that's something that you're heavily judged on, it can make or break your score in a show. Like, it's important. Yeah.
I didn't realize how much goes into the posing part. Like, it's so much time and effort to do that. And it is difficult. It's an art to do that posing.
Yes. And then with women, unfortunately, you also have to be in heels while doing it. So that throws a whole other, like, okay, I'm in 6-inch heels and I have to do what?
In our office, there's a girl that works for us now, and she's actually training to be in a physique competition as well. And she's been kind of showing some of her pictures to me, and that's what she was showing me, is in heels doing these posing and trying to just keep her balance, but also keep her posture.
And breathing.
And we've been working with her for that, as far as chiropractic goes. And then she's been training and everything. So it is amazing how people do that. And I admire that you did that and stuck with it, and show people how there's a difference pre and post adjustment, the changes that it makes.
It's crazy. And then also, especially during competition prep. So like, as I'm getting ready for a show, other body work comes in really important, massage and whatnot too, just because that posing can literally cause, extreme cramping of the muscles. It all makes a difference.
Well, we've covered a lot of things today, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I wanted to see if you could give us, how we can get in touch with you, people that are listening to the show, or people that are interested in training with you or learning more about, the holistic things that you do. I know you said you're a personal trainer and then also you do coaching. Can you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so I'm an integrative nutrition coach, meaning I work with a lot of different integrative practitioners in the area for people-specific health concerns. I specialize in fertility and anything that has to do with hormones such as endometriosis, PCOS, diagnoses, that kind of thing. Also, I specialize in autoimmune conditions. Unfortunately, when it comes to fertility, hormone disruptive conditions, and then also autoimmunity, a lot of that can come down to very similar root causes. And a lot of that is what we're putting in our body via diet, how we are fueling our bodies. And literally just changing our diet can take us from a diagnosis of an autoimmune disease to that as a thing of our past. I've now helped almost 50 families go from infertility diagnoses to having children. That is really where my passion lies, because it's the ultimate heartbreaking thing, as I can say from personal experience, to think that you can't have the family that you have always dreamed of having. So that's kind of what I specialize in, but I do a lot of work with a lot of I also work with a lot of special needs kids too. Again, very similar root causes to a lot of other things. I am an integrative coach with a coaching team called Relentless Forever. You can follow, it's relentless.forever on Instagram. And then I am on Instagram as innately_nourished. And from there, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I also have a link in my bio where if you're interested in a free consultation, all you do is just click that link and schedule it. And then we are on a Zoom or a call whenever you schedule it for. It's just up to a person's convenience. So that's kind of the best ways. You can also email me at Erin, ERIN, at relentlessforever.com.
I'm so glad that you were able to come on here today and talk about everything that you've been through and just talk about your experience with chiropractic and bodybuilding. And you truly have an amazing story. And I think that more people need to hear these kind of things, because especially women, just to learn about how you can heal your body and it's never too late. And you went through that for years and years, and probably times where you just didn't think it was ever going to happen, or just you weren't sure if you could fully do it, but really your body is able to heal itself. And I think people don't realize that. And I think it's important to hear stories like yours so that they realize that it can, it is worth the time and the effort to put into that.
We are so much more capable than we think we are.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again today for being on. And we need to talk again and go into some other subjects. So we'll plan something else later in the year here, have you back on here. And
I'd love that. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for being on today. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed listening to Erin's story today. I had her on the show just because I really admire what she's done with her life and how she's dedicated herself to holistically healing her body and helping other people do it as well. I think it's just amazing. She's able to help patients of hers get pregnant and have families and really overcome some of the health problems that they thought that they never would have. And her knowledge and her research over the years has enabled her to be able to help people with their health issues. I've admired listening to her and following her on social media, because I've really learned a lot from all the things that she speaks about and supplements that I didn't even know about. As a chiropractor, I want to be well-versed in holistic and better nutrition and just the new innovations of health. And I really admire people like her who have dedicated their lives to going into this holistic route and sticking with it, even when they thought it wasn't working. I mean, her story is amazing, how she battled through cervical cancer and now has come along where she's able to actually get pregnant. She's done bodybuilding. She's worked at a chiropractic office. It's really, truly amazing. So definitely follow her on her social media. But as far as you, if you're out there and you think that your body is just not quite right, if you think there's something wrong structurally when you look in the mirror, if something doesn't look quite right, if you feel like your allergies, your digestion, your sleep, just certain things are off in your body. Even Erin talked about it, how she got into chiropractic as a kid, and it really helped with her allergies. It helped her through her bodybuilding, and it's helped her with a lot of different things that she's done. There's a lot of different things that chiropractic helps with, more than just the pain that's there. And if you find out what's structurally blocking these nerves and impinging your body from being truly healthy, you can really overcome some of these diagnoses that you've had that you think are going to be there for the rest of your life. The body truly is amazing, and you can heal. It's never too late to get in there and work on things to get your body back to where it should be. So if you're dealing with some of these health issues yourself and you just have some questions about what's going on and just kind of confused about what you might have to do, reach out to me. DM me on Instagram, message me on Facebook at Ideal Health and Wellness Center. Tell me what's going on, and I'll tell you what I think. Remember, the coach's door is always open. This is Coach Frank. I'm sporting good posture. How about you?
The Sporting Good Posture Podcast is a broadcast wellness production powered by Ideal Health Wellness Center. All content copyright 2021. All rights reserved. Executive producer Frank Sardella. Coach Frank appears courtesy of Ideal Health Wellness Center in Franklin. For more information, visit sportinggoodposture.com and follow Coach on Instagram at sportinggoodposture.
Hey, Coach, what do you got for us today?